everyone. I'm just checking in again because I actually have an agenda for this video log. It's not going to be me rambling and just not in the mood to write, which is what I do to you guys far too often, and I apologize. I'm sure that can get annoying. But today, I wanted to talk about stuff that I was reading in this magazine, Psychology Today. Try to get the glare off of it. There you go. There's a little glimpse. So on the cover is a woman in a bathing suit, and not that that's odd to see on a magazine stand, but it is unique for Psychology Today because it's not a men's magazine or just a general interest or whatever. So I was attracted to it when I went to Barnes & Noble the other day to borrow some of their Wi-Fi and caffeine, and then was sucked in by they had like a series of articles, The Battle Over Beauty, What Matters Most to Men and Women, Can You Be Too Good Looking, like just interesting things. I don't know why I find it interesting, but I do. So that led me to really just think about my own perception of things, and then to want to admit something to you, which is that I don't believe that everyone in the healthy living community is a part of it solely because they want to keep their insides in tip-top shape. And that's not to say that like it's not okay to be comfortable with who you are and to want to eat, move, and live well so that you can live a very full, long, healthy life and all these things. But I do think that there is a quote-unquote superficial factor to it that's very okay. Like, you know, I can only speak for myself, but there's a certain weight that I'm more comfortable at, and I couldn't even tell you that number if I wanted to, because I really just don't weigh myself, only because I've never really had a scale, but I totally judge it based on how my clothes fit. And when my clothes do fit, like, I don't know, to what I feel like is their best fit, I feel my best, and I'm most confident, and even, dare I say it, like, happier, like from the moment I wake up throughout the day, because I just feel like I look nice, and I think it's okay to feel that way, and we shouldn't have to feel guilty about wanting to look nice, and not that should be your sole feel-good thing. Like, there obviously is a lot more in life that can also make you feel comfortable and confident. So like, appearances aren't everything, but they are a factor. And I just wanted to put that out there, that I really think that, and I don't think it's anything to be ashamed of. And I just want to know, like, your guys' thoughts on that balance in the whole healthy living thing. And I think admitting it is a very healthy thing to, you know, like, overuse the word. Because, like, for example, the way I eat, yes, makes me, like, I literally do feel better, but it also, my skin is the clearest when I eat well, and my hair is shinier, and my nails are stronger, and that's awesome. Like, not that that should be your sole purpose, but it's okay that that's an appreciated bonus. And then exercising, like, I have commitment issues with sticking with a routine, so I always need something that's goal-oriented. And as I mentioned a few posts back, I just signed up for 30 days for $30 at New York Sports Club, and this past week I went to Vinyasa Flow, Pilates, and Power Yoga, and all of them kicked my ass, which is awesome because I'm somewhat out of shape, and I like knowing that my money is going towards getting stronger, but also in a month, if I can really, like, tone up and physically, my, like, body-wise, look better than I do right now, because not that there's anything wrong, or I think that there's anything wrong with how I look, but you know, I could definitely tighten up, and I don't think that or I hope that it's not just me being vain, that I like that. Which brings me to the second part, and it goes back to Psychology Today. And now let's go to this article. It's like they have the truth about beauty. So, ooh, there it is, a silhouette. So I want to read 5 things in particular. Okay, so the first, and now this woman writes very, very honestly, like she doesn't hold anything back, so it was a bit much even for me when I slightly agree with her on a lot of her points, so just take with a grain of salt. Her name is Amy Alcon, and at the very least she's a good writer and she did her research. So, okay, this is like partway through the article, but she says, unfortunately, because Americans are so conflicted and dishonest about the power of beauty, we approach it like novices. At one end of the spectrum are the love me as I am types, like the woman who asked me why she was having such a terrible time meeting men, while dressed in a way that advertised not, I want a boyfriend, but I'm just the girl to clean out your sewer line. The other extreme are women who go around resembling porn-ready painted dolls. Note to the menopausal painted doll. Trying on makeup doesn't make you look younger. It makes you look like an aging drag queen. So yeah, so as I was saying, that's the way she wrote this article. But then like farther on, she mentions French women, which is also always like something fascinating for me because I love France and I studied the language and I studied in France and have been there multiple times and I love it and I love so many parts of their culture. So I've never full out thought about this, but I definitely would agree with her. So she says, French women too buy into the idea that there is some fountain of youth at the Clarence counter, but perhaps because feminism never seeped into mainstream culture in France like it did here, they generally have a healthier and more realistic relationship with beauty, accepting it as the conduit to love, sex, relationships, and increased opportunities. They take pleasure in cultivating their appearance and in accentuating their physical differences from men. They don't give up on their looks as they age, nor do they tart themselves up like sexy schoolgirls at 50. They simply take pride in their appearance and try to look like sensual older women. So, I mean, not that I don't like stereotypes because they're insane. Like, not everyone from one country or area or with the same skin color is exactly the same. But that is part, I think, of what their culture is. And I do feel like there have been concrete observations that would support that. So then at the end of the article, she suggests, like French women, we too need to understand that a healthy approach to beauty is neither pretending it's unnecessary or unimportant, nor making it important beyond all else. By being honest about it, we help women make informed decisions about how much effort to put in their appearance or accept the opportunity costs of going ungroomed. The truth is, like knowledge, beauty is power. And to that, I say that sucks. There are obviously other factors, but that is kind of true. Like, we're very visual creatures, and men more than women. You know, like, that's been proven. So, I don't know. Like, feel free to comment on any of this. I'd love to hear your thoughts and have, like, an ongoing discussion, maybe. I don't know. I've never, like, done something like this. So then, from, like, the beauty is power thing, I looked at this sidebar, which is another article by Heidi Grant Halverson, that discusses, like, can you be too beautiful, which is just, like, an interesting question. So halfway through, she says, most of us assume that the beautiful people have it made, that being attractive gives you advantages across the board. And much of the time, we are right. Decades of psychological research have shown that when people are attractive, we often unconsciously assume that they have lots of other good qualities too. We perceive them to be warmer, kinder, smarter, funnier, and more honest, simply because they are easier on the eye. And that's bizarre. Like, completely bizarre. But I can understand how that happens. And especially in the opposite sex kind of situation. But she does then also note that, like, it's a positive thing to be surrounded by good-looking people of the opposite sex, because that means, like, opportunity in, you know, a trying to create other human beings kind of way. She does say that attractive members of our own sex, on the other hand, are the competition. Their presence is a threat. They make the rest of us feel like we aren't pretty enough. And I totally see that. Like, I feel like that's the core of why women can oftentimes be so unsupportive of each other, because we're threatened by each other. And I know even, like myself in nightlife kind of situations when there's people you don't know and they're pretty and you don't really want to be around them because you don't want them to take away from your spotlight, which is crazy, but like kind of makes sense. I don't know. I guess that is where I want to go with this discussion. So please let me know what you think, or if you have any information to add, whether it's from experience or you read something or whatever. And I hope I haven't said anything offensive to anyone, because I don't mean to do that at all. And I hope you have a really good day. Okay, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.